Bosetu Podcast. Real advocates of the Union. Rights and welfare of educators. Real union issues. Teachers, pillar of the nation. Bosetu Podcast.
Good evening. We are continuing with our guest on Bosetu Podcast. Next to me, I have a wonderful guest from our neighboring country, Zimbabwe. I don't want to mess anything. I want him to introduce himself. Say, can you introduce yourself?
Thank you. My name is Dr. Takawafira Zhou. I'm the president of the Progressive Teachers Union in Zimbabwe.
Oh, that is wonderful. He's also from our trade union for the teachers. Now, say, we are pleased to have you here. Now, can you tell us what is the mandate of your teacher or trade union in the neighboring country, Zimbabwe?
Basically, our mandate is to advance the interests of teachers and to defend any gains made. So we ensure that teachers play a vital role in terms of societal development and in terms of building the future of the nation.
Wow.
The present and the future in particular.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Brief and point to the point, precise, right? Now, one will wonder, why are you here? What is the significance of your visit and attending this Bosetu 2025 annual conference?
Basically, we are in collaboration with Bosetu in non-aligned teacher unions of Southern Africa. So we've come here to benchmark our work in our respective countries. And in particular, we want governments to be responsible in terms of the education system in Southern Africa, because these borders are artificial borders that were created by colonialists. But our people work across the country, be it in Zimbabwe, in Botswana, South Africa, it is. So we want the best of Southern Africa. And knowing that we have the 1997 education aspect that ties the Southern African countries in Botswana. And Botswana plays a critical role. It is the hub of SADC. And they make decisions at the political level. And we also want to make decisions that can carry the nation forward at an educational level.
That is so wonderful. You know, we used to perceive Zimbabwe as the breadbasket of Africa. And I remember so many years ago, the parents took children, Botswana parents took children to Zimbabwe for their education. Now, that has since declined. I know part of it is because of the economical situations, the sanctions and all that. That is so interesting. So Bosetu is always, talked positively about, because it has achieved some milestones. Now, take us through your union back home. Do you have the milestones or what you can show or say to Botswana to say, this union has achieved this, it has won such and such case?
Yes. For example, there were college students were not allowed to be married while they were in colleges. So they were denied their conjugal rights. But we fought for college students so that they would enjoy the same conjugal rights just like university students. We have fought, for example, also for visually impaired teachers to have their assistants paid differently, because there were quarrels where the assistants were paid together with the visually impaired teacher, and they always had quarrel with each other. We have also ensured that as citizens of the country, we voice issues to do with the education system in order to create quality public education, pay teachers well, although of course we are not paid well, but we have made it consistent in terms of our message to the politicians that we will not retreat, as long as we are calling for appropriate payment of teachers, as well as appropriate teacher-people ratio, important collective bargaining. But of course in Zimbabwe, we are still in collective begging. But the struggles that Bosetu is going through, like the Teaching Professional Council, like the collective bargaining, are the same issues that we are also struggling with in Zimbabwe. And we share these experiences, trying to make the best for the countries and not to reduce countries to individual machinations and interests, but to national interests as builders of the future of our nations.
Right. Nothing. Sometimes we will blame the politicians. We can, show our efforts. Now, tell me here, do you, notice some positives from the government, if there are any, while you advocate for the teachers? Because sometimes, yes, you may bargain, but you will not always get something or all of what you are bargaining for. Do you have something that you can say, well, here the government took heed of our cries?
Unfortunately, in the 21st century in Zimbabwe, there is nothing positive. I think the challenge is now our politicized situation. And the politicians have targeted teachers to an extent that teachers are even beaten in schools by youth militias in those schools. And when you beat teachers in schools, what suffers is the community. But I would credit Robert Mugabe when he came into power in 1980. He increased the number of teachers in schools. He also built schools in Zimbabwe. But the same schools that Robert Mugabe built are now dilapidated. The infrastructure has gone to the dog. And the dangerous situation is that politicians have been brought into the Ministry of Education. Initially, they were in Zimbabwe since 1980. There were only 3 ministers. Others are pretenders. Zingai Mutumbuka was the first minister, made appropriate policies for education with the production. Then there was also Fei Chung, was very brilliant in terms of ideas. And the only other minister that came was in 2009, David Colton. He was not an educationist, but could listen to unions and consult unions. But the others have been an epidemic, a human epidemic that came into the system. We need someone with educational taxonomy to preside over the education system. But when you bring a politician without educational taxonomy, he or she would be operating in an unfamiliar environment and become a disaster in the Ministry of Education. That is the challenge that we are facing in Zimbabwe. But we have had previously 3 ministers that were good, but the current one is a disaster.
Yeah. True, indeed. That has been a hiccup for almost all the Southern African countries, where we see, our politicians having to run this education ministries, but, they have no background of, issues of education. That is a hiccup to many of the countries. Now, one last question, sir. What message can you relay, or message of encouragement can you relay to the teachers of Botswana?
To the teachers of Botswana is very clear that capital and labor are strange bedfellows. There is no room for romance with government officials. The ultimate result of romance is that you will be pregnanted and become immobile. So a teacher union must remain resolute, resistant, and pursuing the basic interests of teachers and without double crossing. So that aspect of remaining as a focused union is an important aspect.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so grateful for the answers you've provided, sir. Thank you for being with us in this podcast.
Thank you very much, and we'll continue to come to Bosetu, Botswana, to learn. And also to the government, I think a message to the government is that listening to professional advice in running the Ministry of Education and all other ministries is important. Political expedience would not lead us anywhere, but professional advice would be handy in running nations in Southern Africa.
Wonderful,
Thank
sir.
you so much.
Have a great evening, sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bosetu Podcast. Real advocates of the Union. Rights and welfare of educators. Real union issues. Teachers, pillar of the nation. Bosetu Podcast.